UIC.
Freedom the people of
Hell yeah.
freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah,
Yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road, me say yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road. Ready for broke every chain. That when you free up the people, levitate. Jamaica member, you ever great. I feel burn up the fire upon every snake. Me give thanks in every way. God still a look down once see we safe. I see around the road long time. GLP and PMP I sell we out. Still I do the test even though we know the end result. If them coulda kill with them catch we and hang we know. No force no coercion, me freedom in a step. No one fi rob we and kill we and feel them I go make it out. You know see the leeches, you know see the angel the devil when him sleep with. You know see the leeches, you know see the angel the devil when him sleep with. Yeah, real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road, me say yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road. Yeah, me drop the breath in now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of UIC Liberty TV. I am Naika Williams. I'm the treasurer of the UIC. Uh, so sorry that we don't have our president on today. It's just me, one of the Aldro brothers, that's Gary Aldro, and we also have our general secretary, which is Chase Neal. I would have given a person shout out though, but I'm not seeing much persons in the chat at this moment. So what I'm going to do is just introduce the two persons I have with me today before we go into that. Maybe by then we will have some chats coming in. We don't plan on being long today. We just wanted to give you some updates on what has been with, getting 1,000 persons to donate $25 to the UIC. So we're just giving you an update on how that is going, how many persons we have so far, and what we need to do to pick up pace with this. All right, so let's bring on Gary Aljo, who is the first one.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Gary Aljo. Pleasant good evening. I hope we can address those contributions because we need so much of that to get UIC to the place where it needs to be. I know that Naika has been working to gather that information so that she can share that with the audience. And as we had stipulated last time we met, the challenge is on. Yeah, it's challenge of 1,000 persons donating 25 US or equivalent or more each month. So that is still on, and we're challenging. We continue to have that challenge, and I think it will be a success. It just takes time for it to gather the momentum, but it's looking positively strong. And I just want to say thanks and a pleasant good evening to the audience. I'll turn it back to Naika, and then I'll come back on again.
Thank you so much, Gary. Our next person that we have here is Neil, our general secretary.
Hello, everyone. Great to see our listeners, our supporters here. Big up Craig McKenzie, Islin McLean, Lion Rule the Jungle Without Fear, Yes, big up, brethren. All right, Jamaica. I hope everyone is tuning in across the diaspora and in the island. All right. As Gary has said, Naika, we do need these contributions so that we can do the work on behalf of the people. So I leave it to our presenters now to put forward where we are so far and where we need to reach. All right. Enjoy, be informed. All right, and get participating.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Chase. All right, since you already started the shout outs for the persons in the comments and stuff, let me just go ahead and finish it off because I know everybody was looking for it before I introduce you guys. All right, so I'm seeing Lion Ruled Without Fear saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Craig McKenzie, Islin McLean, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm also seeing Lloyd Smith. Hi, Miss Rosemary in the comments. Uh, and good afternoon to the other persons to come on live. So first, before I get into the presentation, let me just say this. As you know, UIC is strictly funded by the smaller persons in the country and in the diaspora. So we do not get donations from the bigger companies, or as Mr. Patterson would say, the PSOJ oligarchs. All right. So let me just get in the presentation now. I'm going to get take case and Mr. Gary off the screen for a second to make this
Sure.
presentation, then I'll get back on. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So as you can see, what I'm really presenting on is the fundraising update because that's what it really is. So as you know, previously, when we did this 2 weeks ago, we would have given you updates on how many contributors we've had over the 6 month period, how many persons donated over $25 over that 6 month period, and also how many donations in total that we got. Okay, so for this section where we have the number of donators for January, as you can see, we had 70 persons. In February, we had 49 donators for that time. For March, we had 52. For April, we had 39. For May, we had 59. And for June, we had 45 persons donating. So that's not a number that, most persons would have said that person would have donated twice. So these are all single donators. Now we move on to the number of donations in total that we got for each month and how many persons would have made over $25. So that's in comparison. That's a comparison that is being made there. Okay, thank you so much, screen, for coming up because you were taking a little while. All right, so the number of donations that we had in January in total would have been 104. But we only had donations over $25. We only had 45 or 41, sorry, donations over $25. In February, we had 44 donations in total, with only 21 being over 25 US dollars. In March, we had only 50 donations in total, with 24 of them being over $25. In April, we had 35 donations in total, with 16 of them being over $25. In May, we had 65 donations in total, with 34 of them being over 25. And in June, which is to date, which is it, June 30th? Yeah. We would have had 50 donations in total, with 28 of them being over $25. So if you should check the percentage of each, most of them is within a range of 35, sorry, of between 45% or 50% of the total donations that we've had each month, right? So we're trying to lessen those percentages and get as many more donations over $25 as we can. All right, so let me get Gary on the screen to give his part on what else we need to do.
Yes, okay. All right. In regard to the contribution, and and so far for June, the May was a bit higher than June, so it's the inconsistency of the donations seem to continue. One of the things we would really love to see is that the numbers remain consistently high, or rather than up and down, which is what is being examined. But we're still appreciative. We still appreciate the contributions, and especially at this time, we know it's very difficult for so many persons. It's very challenging financially. So the mere fact of considering giving to the UIC, we're very grateful for that, you know. And we may be coming across like asking and constantly besieging to get the funds in. But the reason we're doing that is because the mission that the UIC has, it has and it needs to re- take control of the government. It needs to be in government. It needs to deliver the programs that will create opportunities in Jamaica, that the people of Jamaica, especially the small business, minority and micro small businesses, can use to develop, to seize that opportunity to expand or to grow their business, and in the process bring up the family, bring up the community. That will help, and also to cut crime, and it just gets positive energies just from positive government like the UIC to take control. So that is the reason why we keep asking for that donation, because without that donation, the UIC cannot or will not be able to deliver. It takes money. And because we're not going after the large PSOJs and the oligarchs in Jamaica or otherwise, then we are seeking from the working persons, the small persons, the individual donors, and the larger the base of that is the more consistent the contribution will be, and it doesn't have to be as much as we're asking. I mean, we'd love to have the $25 US, but whatever can be afforded, we appreciate it. But the base has to grow. I think the base right now, the largest we have was in January, I think, where we had about 70 to 100 donations. That's extremely small. To the challenge of 1,000 is where we need to be. And I know it's difficult, and we're asking a lot, but see it as a worthy cause to get the UIC into government and then build Jamaica back up to where it ought to be. So I'll just say another thing as well is that as we go through the budget, um, it's very expensive to carry out the canvassing, to tour the parishes, and this is to spread the word, to meet the people, to mobilize the councillors and the MPs. All of that takes money, and without that, we really can't do the kind of job to give the presence that UIC needs out there, so that the people can become more aware of the UIC, and to be of any challenge to any of the other two parties. We definitely will need even a fraction of what they get, because even with 1,000 at $25, it will be no match to them. But we will be able to spend that efficiently and effectively. That will get us the presence and the message out to the people. That will certainly help to get the UIC into office, and that's the key factor here. So we're asking um, that of you, and if you can spread it around, if each person tells five persons and that one tells five, the compounding effect of that is absolutely, um, it can't be measured. Eventually, 1 million persons will be giving, if it's even $1. It's where we need to be. Jamaica needs this change. It's just can't really continue under the other two governments. The people of Jamaica have demonstrated the fact that they need a change. They have sat out the previous two elections or three elections, not showing up to the polls, to the point where the last election, if I recall, it's about maybe 37% of the persons that voted. Means that the majority of the voting public of Jamaica are just fed up with the other two parties. They need a change. But for us to deliver that change, the contribution is very, very important. And we really ask and beseech that each person give as much as they can and tell as many persons as they can, so that we can achieve the objectives of the UIC and represent the people of Jamaica the way they should be represented. Okay. All right. So I'll turn that back over to Naiko, and for Chase to come in and develop on that.
Okay, thank you so much, Gary. I'll now put Chase on to give his input on what's happening as well. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm on now. All right, so I think that Gary has said what needs to be said, but let me respond to some comments I see here in the chat box. No, there's someone. Someone said, "Bad to bad." Um, I'm assuming it's a female because the name is Judith. She has never heard Andrew begging for money. All right, so the thing is, the UIC is an organization that works on behalf of the Jamaican people. While we are a political organization, which means that we want to reach into government. Until we reach into government, you can think of us as a social action organization. in that we be carrying out programs for the betterment of Jamaican people. No, we cannot operate without money. And the thing is, we are not in this for ourselves. I am not running as MP of St. Mary Weston, for example, because I want something out of it. In fact, I would rather be to myself, and I like to. I'm a private person. I would rather be living my life. Not many persons really know about me doing what I want to do, but I have chosen to go into the public scene because Jamaica needs these policies. Jamaica needs the UIC. So if it is that Jamaican people want a Jamaica that is prosperous, a Jamaica where your body is yours, where your choice to do with your money, with your life, with your liberty, with your property as you desire, you get that choice, and nobody can force you to do with it what you don't want to. Nobody can control you. If you want that, if you are tired of the corruption and the thieving, the stealing that has been going on over the years, then you must invest in that. And how do you invest in that? By contributing. Now, we know that the two political parties that exist now, the ones that we have grown up with, the JLP and the PNP, they don't need to be asking for contributions. The MPs that are elected are paid from taxpayer money. Andrew Olness, the last time I saw um, a, a, a description of his pay on a poster, it was he was making over $33,000 a day. Now, if the Prime Minister is making over $33,000 in a day, he would not need to ask people for a contribution of 10 US or 25 US. He's getting paid. In addition to the monies that are used to fund to operate the country. No, none of us is getting paid for UIC work. In fact, we don't need to get paid to do UIC work. Each of us has a passion to do it. But for us to carry out these policies to make more people aware of UIC, it costs money. It costs money to care, it costs money to operate, it costs money for us to go to the elections. So if it is that you want us to win, then you will contribute. If we want to do it for ourselves, of course, we're going to try to spend as much money as we can and to get funding from the major corporations and the private sector. But then if we do that, they control us. Who gives us money controls us. No, we have left it to Jamaicans, both home and abroad. If it is that you need this change, then you will be part of the change by either volunteering with the UIC, getting yourself involved, or contributing. So if you can contribute, we encourage you, yes, give what you can. You might not be able to give the 25 US. You may not be able to give $1,000. If you can't give $1,000 and you can give 500, fine. Every mickle make a muckle, as someone said in the chat box. Yes, lion rule the world without lion rule the jungle. Yeah, every mickle make a muckle. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the UIC. Let's do this together. Yes, and that's the thought. We need to be able to bring about our education plan, our 10-point plan, our crime response, to to get rid of all this corruption, all this hard life that is unnecessary, by the way. We need to get real justice for everybody in Jamaica. We need to get rid of those persons at the top who are robbing us. Who there was this figure that over $8 billion annually we lose to corruption alone. 8 billion, $8 billion US every year. 8 billion US. That's enough money, you know. Where does that go? Into the thief in people them pocket and them overseas accounts. Now, can you imagine if we were able to use that to fund our hospitals or police stations or teachers to help to ensure that the poor have food, have nutrition, have health care? So we are at a loss. We need to change this. And how are we going to change it? By this thing ever make a muckle. Can you contribute? Then do so. Because unlike other parties, UIC does not benefit from big business funding. We don't benefit from the private sector organization. Last year, the private sector organization of Jamaica made a ruling that you must be vaccinated. It must be mandatory for you to be vaccinated to work. And the Prime Minister, Andrew Onis, went to the Supreme Court to find out if it was unconstitutional. And Mr. Patterson made a march in September last year against that. And what was the rollout of that? It was withdrawn. So this mandatory vaccination did not go through because the action was challenged in the Supreme Court after Mr. Patterson got arrested. All of this takes money. Now he has to answer and go before the court for standing up for everybody's rights. And we Jamaicans owe him a lot for that. And he has to be paying to go to court, right? It takes money. It takes money to bring about the JUMP program that we'll be rolling out very soon to ensure that down to the community level, everybody is taken care of financially. We want to get rid of this mentality that broke life is necessary. That will take money. And it doesn't take a lot of money. For those of us who can afford it, the $10, the $25, $500 in Jamaican, $1,000, as small as that. If you can do more, you do more. And it is just simple as that. If you want entertainment and you go to like a dance session, for example, you want to get the benefit of entertainment. You have to pay to go in because it takes money for the sound system to operate. It takes money to get the liquor and all of that. So in the same way, you want us to win, you want us to campaign and get the voters so that we can get in government and make a change, it takes money. And if you can help, then we appreciate it. So Judith, I want you to tell your friends why UIC asks for contributions. We don't ask for it for ourselves. We ask for it for you, giving you the opportunity to get involved. So if you want better for Jamaica, Judith, tell your friends, let's get involved
All
so
right,
that
I
we can
hope
make this.
everybody can hear me. I think the General Secretary connection it is, but just add to what was being said. On that note of choices, if you realize, oh, you're back. Go ahead, Chase. I was just going to add my little part until you came back, but go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't even aware that the connection had gone. I'm not even sure at what point it had gone. All right. So I think I had said what I need to say, Naika. We need everyone on board. I for one am not satisfied with how Jamaica is being run. I am not satisfied with with the option of persons having to leave to go overseas to make life for themselves. Jamaica must be a country that brings out the best in all of us. It is not necessary for us to run abroad to live a better life. It is all because of the bad system of governance. Our resources are not being managed properly. It is sad. Yeah, I'm going off on a tangent, but just a context, just laying context. It is sad that Jamaica as the third, the third most is the third most visited country in this region. We're talking about tourism. Jamaica is the third most popular tourist destination in the Caribbean region and the Americas. But yet, we are so poor. I was talking the other day about St. Anne being the poorest parish in Jamaica. And St. Anne has so many resorts. But none of this capital goes to the parishioners at all, at all. Bauxite is one of our major exports. but none of the bauxite exports goes to Jamaican citizens. Now that is sad. Now, what sort of governance led to the decision to make all of our resources here go to foreign investors? Now, we need to change that. We need to change how things are done. And the only way we're going to change how things are done is if we change the system of governance. And how can we do that if we are not funded? No, we will not be funded by the private sector organization of Jamaica, because they have their own interests. And they can tell the government what to do with the money that they give them and how to operate. If we take their money, they'll do the same. As I had said in another live, last year, someone approached us with some millions of US dollars if we would stop talking about the vaccine. But that would have been wrong and against our conscience. It is wrong to have people inject a substance in their body against their own will. So the UIC could not stop talking about it, no matter how much money we were getting. So this is the UIC. We will not be taking all of these big amount of money, although we need it to operate, because that will be giving away our mission and our purpose to defend the rights of everybody to choose to have the right to their body, to their life, to their property, to their liberty. So what's the other way? For those who we defend, for those who we do the work on behalf of, to help us along the way. So if you want us in government, then we ask that you help us there by contributing. All right, so thank you. I hand over back to Naika.
Thanks, Chase, but I'm going to keep you on this screen and you're gone. Let me keep us all on the screen so we can have a mini discussion before we go off. But on that note of choice, though, as it pertains to our donations, if you realize when persons go on our website to make a donation, they have the choice to either donate once or to become a recurring donator, which I'm not sure if many persons are aware of it. But when you click on the donate to the UIC link, that only allows you to donate once. But when you click on that link to become a member, then you will become a recurring donator. So I was just thinking about it just now when I was running back with the numbers and stuff. So in January, we had a total of 104 donations from 70 donators, right? But only 41 of those was over $25. So I was saying, imagine if those 70 persons that donated actually clicked the link to say become a recurring donator. That would have been so that's one thing that just went through my head just now.
That is true, and that's one of the things that we are hoping, is that the consistency of the numbers of the voters continues month to month, increasing. Each month would be, it would be excellent, because it needs to increase, because that base needs to develop much, much greater than from the 70 or the 104 transactions or the 70 donors to at least 1,000, right, per month. So it's a recurring of 1,000 persons or transactions per month of 25 US or larger or less. We can make it work. The UIC is a party that will, whatever little that it has, whatever little that it gets, it will make it stretch as far as it can possibly do. So we make it work. We'll be spending it efficiently. We'll be doing it effectively. As a matter of fact, within the accounting and the budget process, 80 to 90% of whatever donation we get goes into the programmatic activities of the UIC. So it doesn't go to the administration, and it doesn't go to personal expenses. 80 to 90 is in the core expenses of the UIC, where it belongs, because you, the contributors, the donors, are donating so that we can, show the persons what the UIC is about, what the message the UIC is going to be, well, is sending to the people to address the concerns of the country, to get crime down. As a matter of fact, just was it yesterday, I was reading an article where, and it's one from the international organization, where Jamaica is the second largest crime, has the second largest crime in numbers in the world, not just the Caribbean, but the entire world. The mark for civil, they consider civil unrest, is 30 per 100,000. Jamaica right now is at 48.5 per 100,000. So it is in a dire state of crime infestation, with the government, the current government, have no crime plan in place. The people are just not being respected. Their rights are being trampled on. They're not offered that security that the rights of the people are supposed to be protected. That is totally not done by the current government. So the UIC needs these funds to push this forward, to protect the people, to protect their rights, their property rights, as well as their rights to property, purity, protection from crime, to develop the social infrastructure so that persons can have a better family life, to contribute to the economic upturn in the economy and in the communities that are so impacted by crime. And it is the contributions that will help us to get this message out, and will mobilize the people and the councillors and MPs to get this UIC into government, and then we can make a much, much better Jamaica.
All right. Thank you for speaking about the importance of tackling these issues, Gary. And I want people to think of the country as a company, like a business. No, if the CEO or the managing director of a company is failing miserably, what do? We fire him, fire them. No, since 1944, our leaders have been failing miserably. Let me not even look at the cost of living, because we know that inflation is affected by global issues. Although we know that our politicians also contribute to false inflation. But let us look at crime. Why do we have a government? We have a government to keep us safe. We vote these people in to ensure that we can feel secure at home. They have not made us feel secure since when? So why do we have these people still leading the country? Crime plan SOE makes no sense. Now, I encourage everybody who's listening to the live, if you have not yet done so, to go to the uicjamaica.com. That's our website. Go to our website, uicjamaica.com, type in the search bar, crime epidemic response. Crime epidemic response, and look at our plan for crime. And tell me if you have ever seen a plan for crime before, so detailed. Look at how we handle mental health issues. Look at how we handle the lack of quality education. Over 70% of our students leave school without being adequately educated. When we have over 70% of students leaving school, happening for decades now, Wow. Not being able to achieve 5 subjects at a grade 3, then something is wrong. And we must take a look at the education system. That has not been done. Then why do we keep these people around? We need to fire the boss. And really, it's not the boss, it's a servant, because minister means servant. But we need to put persons in who can do the job. If you're running a business and the person you hire is not doing it properly, what do? You get rid of them and look at the resume of everybody else who are applying, and based on the resume and the interview, you hire these people. Why don't we run a country the same way? No, I do think that the UIC's resume speaks for itself. Again, uicjamaica.com, type in education plan, look at our education plan. Type in 10-point plan, look at our 10-point plan to change Jamaica around. And you tell me if this, what we have now, is not worth throwing away and coming with a better system. No, the only way, as I've said, that we can push forward with these plans is if we have the support of Jamaicans. Now, how do you support us? By volunteering with us or contributing. All right, Winston, you have made a point, and I thank you for making that point. Winston says in the comment box, I never hear the EYC when asked what they need, tell people to go get their voters' ID so they can vote for them in the next general elections. There are many people who like what you are saying who can't even vote because they do not have a voter's ID. All right, it was actually said in past lives, Winston, but I don't think it's repeated enough, and I thank you for bringing it up again. Get your voter's ID. I endorse what Winston says. We need to get our voter's ID. That's another way to you support the UIC. So when election time comes around and you see that UIC candidate there, you are able to put your X. I don't know why they use an X, but you put your X there so that we can make a difference. So I should make it known though to everyone listening that our candidates on the ground do tell people to get their voters ID, but we need to make it known on this platform and keep repeating it. So thank you for bringing that up, Winston. All right. So yes, you have seen our financials. The monies, as we say, do not go to any individual persons. They go toward the operating costs of the UIC, the administration, managing everything, ensuring that we are up to date with what the ECJ requires of us, and we are able to roll out and serve the people. All right, we can't do it without you. So whether you are supporting us by, and if you can't support financially, people are begging share the live them. Yes, share, because we will reach people who never hear about us before. So there are many ways to support the UIC. So um, comment, yes, comment and comment if you're watching and you have not yet commented. Say hi. That helps to put up our numbers, so there's the likelihood of more persons seeing this. Like the video, share, subscribe, all of that, so that YouTube will push it out to more persons. Yes, like and share, subscribe. We don't say that enough. We need to say it. So this way we support the UIC. If you are able to contribute, and I pray and hope you do, even us as candidates, we contribute to, do so that we can get this work done. All right, people, I will leave all talking now to my co-host. All right,
And on that note, I should notify you guys that we also have another 14 parish tour coming up, similar to the one that was done in, what was it, December? the UIC, it took a few days for the entire country to interact with different persons. So that's another thing that takes funding as well. So I think we could get the funding up a little bit more. So we'll do our part. We're depending on you guys to do your parts. So just like Chase said, if you are unable to donate financially, we would appreciate it if you share the live to your platform so that we could reach more persons to the message. Before we go though, I'm not seeing any questions and that we may need to respond to. But Chase, a question, well, not really a question, but more of a from a Edwin Linton, saying,
Yeah,
to be
man.
frank,
I'm
all
just seeing it
politicians
here.
is filled with. You responded to it already?
Go again. What you're seeing? I see
No, I'm
the
saying
one that
that.
I'm seeing from Edwin Lin is the UIC have all the chance and blessings, but just like the rest, filled with long talk and little to no action. In order to get a job, you must show the ability to work. All right. I
There,
can tell you, Edward. Sorry, Edwin, that my counselor candidates in St. Mary are on the ground. The thing is, I don't know if it is unfortunate or not. They tend to not take any videos or pictures of what they're doing. The bad thing about that is that people don't know. Yes, I have a candidate in Islington division who feels that she's not doing enough for the UIC. Yet every week, a child learns how to make soap or tend bees or gets money to go to school, and she feels she's not doing enough. I have a candidate in Orokabesa who, um, at the flood in St. Mary in March, he donated a lot to families around the place. Another in Boscobel division did the same thing. Uh, uh, in fact, one of my candidates in Orokabesa got some funds to build a new post office in Orokabesa, and the MP took it over and advertised it as his own project. But we leave that alone. So we have candidates out there working. The problem is that we ask for videos, and there are some who feel that they don't want to make it seem that they are doing this for fame. We work on that, but people are working. It's not just talk. But this medium is necessary to reach the masses, because when one person is working in his or her little corner, then the entire globe still don't know about what we're doing. So this format helps to spread the news of the UIC, even as people on the ground are doing what they are doing. When we roll out the One Jamaica tour, that will be videotaped, and you will see us doing the work. All right, blessed love, Edwin.
all right. Let me just. I hope Mr. Patterson sees this so he can record on each 10-point plan. Sorry, it pre-record on each 10-point plan. Easier, I think, for myself and others to send out to other persons. Well, the 10-point plan was actually pre-recorded, and we did post it on our different social media platforms, listing each point where it's explained in full. So you can go on our social media page, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whichever one you choose, and it will be there. All right. Anything else you need to add, Gary, before we go?
No, well, the only thing really is just to emphasize we're working hard. We're working hard with the little that we have. And I tell you, it is so small that I don't think any of the two parties would even consider it anything that they can do with what we are doing. So it's not a matter of not putting in the work. The work is being done. We're on a shoestring budget, but we're making it work for us. Would love to spread the word, would love to get much more active, but to do that requires funds to do so. But because we're not reaching as many so quickly, it's going to take time because the contribution is small. So we have to work within our constraints, within our limits. But I can tell you for sure that every dollar that we get is put in a very productive way for the UIC. So you can count on that we are working um, very, very hard with the little that we get.
Or,
Okay.
um,
Uh,
the Good Shepherd wants to know, how do you go about becoming a member? All right. You will have to go to our uicjamaica.com, or UIC Jamaica website. That's uicjamaica.com. You will see, was it volunteer or become a member or sign up? There's a tab there.
or no,
Maybe you can help me with that.
in the top navigation bar, in the top navigation bar, you would see a link that says donate. So when you click on donate and you scroll down a bit, you will see the options to become a member, either donate or to become just a supporter. So you just click on that to become a recurring donator there, and you go forward from there. But the
Errol Grant.
links are
Oh,
in
sorry.
the on you, so you could click the link.
Sorry, Errol
I sound
Grant's
like a real
comment.
YouTuber.
All right. All right. So, Errol Grant, I see your comment. If you want to represent Jamaica, you can't have a board tongue representative going around talking to people. All right. So, we have to realize that UIC is for all Jamaicans, right? So, if a Jamaican wants to play their part in advancing the UIC, then who are we to discriminate? We are saying that everyone has the right to choose. Then we must be true to our vision and we must be true to our mission. So, whether you have your degree or you never go to school, or you're black, or you're white, or brown, or bleach, or you're old or young, you're Jamaican, we welcome your support. We welcome your support. It takes all of us to get this done, right? So, we if we say one love, we say one love. All right, thank you.
Okay. With that being said, we did work, but the talking took us over to. All right. With that, I'm not seeing other questions, so I guess it's safe to say good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this segment, and we'll forward to. We'll definitely be on next week, Thursday, but look out for another live tomorrow at 7. Okay. Good night, and thanks again.
Night, everyone.